probably a little meatier of a conversation.
Yeah, some of them are.
Pretty, in-depth.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people and a lot of different views.
He was at the fish fry 2 or 3 years ago. I was making coffee, so I know, 'cause I only started the coffee detail about 3 years ago. And he goes, "Do you remember me?" And I did not recognize him, but I recognized his voice.
You did.
And I go, "How do you do that?"
That's all those words, years. You recognize this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's-
He said he comes here all the time. They go to the beach all the time. No, I said, well, you got my
Well, he
number.
just doesn't communicate.
I don't know. He said he sees you from time to time.
All kinds of stuff talking, but maybe just needs to pass it.
I wanna make some coffee. Oh, they got coffee. You want a cup right there?
Oh, okay. You know what this is all about? By any chance?
Is that a credit card now?
That's it's the house, isn't it?
Yeah, he maybe bought a whole bunch of, he bought a bunch of beers.
Oh, okay. It's great. It's big users, huh? That sounds like something we do though. It's prepared.
Yeah.
You're spending money there.
I told her that, you know, I actually was living on the lake, so I just. That's why I really need to.
And then it's easy to dig. This.
I don't know.
Our DNA, there we go. Mikey O'Brien,
Oh, okay.
and that's how we did it. That's what we did. And I felt honored to hook up this thing down in the world.
Mhm. Hey, Doug.
I can't believe it. 75 at my house. Get out of the car and it's
55.
59, 56.
Yeah, 20 degrees easy. Yeah.
In the hollow, yeah.
We're gonna get the bike rack this week.
Yeah, bike repair station?
Yeah,
We probably didn't get to this yet.
so I'm gonna pick it up probably Friday.
All right,
So, no hurry, we
you
just.
just figure out where you want
I think down by the bathroom.
it? Okay,
We should
I
talk to
sent
them
you,
that, where they see where they.
I sent that to you on email.
and make sure it's far enough off.
But yeah, they got noticed it, so they're gonna deliver it to the Washburn Hardware this week. So I'll pick it up in my van on Friday, and then we'll figure it out. And then my friend Olaf, every time I text him, he says, yeah, good idea, we'll get on that, but we don't get on that. Soccer net. So I'm gonna give him one more text, one more try, and then if not, let's buy mine.
Just order them.
Yeah, and we'll get one, I looked at the ones in their field, they have wheels.
Well, just move them around.
So our idea would be able to move it around for mowing.
That'd be good. Check them out.
So anyway, I missed the meeting last Friday when they were. I looked at it. I'll try to make it next month. And, Jonas kind of spaced out your computer. So I'm hoping I can.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't recognize your name.
I was wondering.
Well, what happened was.
In my mind, yeah. No, it actually.
Remembering how he got me set up on my computer.
So it's fine.
And he kind of felt pressure to get it done.
So bad, so sad.
He was gonna do use your computer to get the viruses out of it, and then, but then you didn't have the logins.
Yeah, but one of them is not working.
We got them the logins. A few days later, and then I didn't remind him of the meeting tonight. And so I reached out to Liz, he goes, oh my gosh, I can't. Any word of the countries, to be honest with you. So I think you're right.
It went fine. Good. And,
I can't either. That's right.
I wasn't
Oh,
guy.
you haven't said a word to me.
And
I'm getting lost.
I think we're-
Oh,
these are actually.
Can you get your counter? Oh,
If you don't want to.
and you know, you don't have any short-term rental stuff. Because you recused yourself all the time, so you're saying you got a few things, but it's not really covered from what I usually.
Well, once those doors are on, I give her a key.
I don't want you to get close to that.
I mentioned that you should repaint.
Yeah,
When she said.
I went through this before.
Good idea, so we should somehow-
Well, I spent almost an hour.
And I did see that stack of papers on the desk, but I went into this.
You know, I don't wanna censor it, and so even if it was like a repeat of an email, I mean, I figured it was better to.
My doors are
to leave something
That's a
out.
little faster. Or on the outside.
I don't know how that's gonna-
Yeah.
It's no skin off my nose, I have.
Really good, so you evaluate if we need to.
I do everything, you know.
Hey, John. The doors are on, and they're working and. Congratulations. What did I do?
You doing good?
Really?
How you doing?
Everybody did.
I'm sleeping.
We are.
This is like a little lecture. No, I.
Oh, okay.
When the senior was.
Oh,
Well, guess what?
say,
DNR's not convinced that this is the right place. I don't think we should discharge directly into the lake.
Let it run downhill.
I said, why?
well, I don't know.
Just put a pipe in directly toward the lake,
Okay.
and then spray it over that. Nature will take it.
What was the reason for them saying?
Yeah.
I said, this project, in the scheme of things, is not.
So-
I mean, it is $2 billion. to protect the lake, you know.
Right. That seems like a weird conclusion.
Yes. So anyway, so we're gonna look to do a continuous discharge, and they might even use our existing, discharge,
But they,
which really is a shock, because they were concerned about the habitat that sprung out as a result of the discharge. And disruption of it.
Well, you
They were quite, they were concerned, because, you know, they get used to it, they do it.
You get a better view.
so who owns the land that you?
That's the spot.
We gotta use it.
I think it'd be wise.
So they're charging 7.2 million.
So we make
Maybe
sure
we can
exactly.
discharge 15.
Did you ask them how big a pipe it would be?
You know what, they were serious.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it'd be funny, we could laugh, but that's a big joke.
It took us a long
It
time.
wouldn't go anywhere.
Right. And since no one already tracking geology, it's not even there.
But the biggest problem is,
Pollution is dilution.
the biggest problem.
Do I learn that, by the way? I was a radio reporter in Northwest Indiana. It was the old place. Right, well, I'm a developer.
I did too.
Did you?
I'm
Is
successful.
he a that sort of guy?
I spent 2 years there, but I can't say that was the best year of my
I
life.
can't necessarily say that I was successful. And if I could do it all over again, I would have been Carlton.
I would have got somewhere else.
But,
They have a law school.
they did,
Yeah.
they also have nursing school.
Yeah.
I ran the radio station, married the editor-in-chief.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I covered a lot of planning meetings and whatnot for a lot of the finals. And I remember attending one for the lighting and
I'm done with it.
And they were basically asking.
All right.
Why do you wear that,
This whole way.
So they've done the calculations, they're gonna put this much effluent into this much water. And AI actually says
Because it can,
the solution.
and then everybody has to sign again.
Yeah, I'm like, well, that's a sound bite. I'll be using that in tomorrow's story.
Did you recently
That's a good one.
ask them to get a new driver's license?
Oh, I thought you was.
Yeah, so they need a new, do you have it on you?
Oh, yeah, I passed it.
All right,
Halfway up.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, because I'm gonna go in Friday to the bank. You can always call me and write it in. Yeah. Get your driver's license?
Yeah, and then they kept what, they didn't water project.
So, yeah.
That performance, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise-
Well, so that's called.
Yep, your card. Yes, yes.
Why do you not
License. Yeah.
Yeah, we get-
That's all.
Hey, Beth, how are you? Did you see my
I did see your snap. Oh, that's right, yeah, yeah. There we go. You're yellow.
Left that message or, because I told her that I couldn't find the toner, I probably could have
Yeah.
changed it, but it didn't, it still worked. So they were saying, well,
Which one? HP.
it worked fine, but it
Yeah.
Make sure.
Yeah. Oh, sounds good. Hey, Jess. This is signature first. Correspondence.
Yeah, I didn't think I had it. I looked, I was gonna look at it, but I didn't see it.
And then most of the other ones are all.
Good evening.
So I've got Paul.
How are you?
And we got Friday. We're not gonna.
Here, by the way. It was hot at my house when I walked downtown here.
That's the one.
Courier Street and all the lights just went out.
Of him?
Yeah, this morning, I found the C-store.
That happens. Does that ever
But in the summer, in the winter, it's bananas.
All right, we're gonna call the meeting to order. It's 7:03. Kenny is gone. Everybody else is here. Paul, Jesse, Gordy, Matt, Mary Beth, and Janice are here. So we could stand and face the flag for a pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, minutes of the previous board meeting.
I move we,
Oh, sorry, hang on one second. We needed to do the board review. So we're gonna call the board review to order and adjourn it because we don't have the, what's it called? Assessment roll.
And, it'll probably be in August or early September, which it usually is. And then we'll start with the open book and then followed by the board review. So I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
I'll second the motions.
motion is made, seconded, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you. All right, now we're back to the board meeting. So minutes of the previous board meeting.
I move we approve the minutes of the previous board meeting.
I'll second.
The motion is made and seconded, all those in favor, say aye. All opposed, say aye. No opposed. Clerk's report.
All right, liquor licenses will be going out. That is in the process. There is open records requests, and that is being completed. Otherwise, everything else is status quo.
All right. The treasurer's report. Got a motion?
I'll make a motion, we accept the treasurer's report.
I'll second it.
Motion is made and seconded. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say aye. No opposed. Board comments.
I've got, one, we had the cornucopia cleanup on a couple Saturdays ago, 17 people met at the community center here at 9 in the morning, and we were probably done in an hour and a half, and went real smooth. I just want to say thank you to everybody who participated in this. We'll do that.
Thank you all for doing that.
Excellent, thank you. Any other board comments?
Since I was tasked with the cornucopia sign replacement / moving, I've contacted 2 sign companies in Duluth. And we're moving into their busy season, and they both said it's gonna be a little bit before they can get back to us. But anyway, we've got 2 people in the loop, anyhow. They said they would be interested in the job, so.
All right, so speaking of that, just an FYI, the XL did call me. They're looking for at least an estimate because they want to close out the job, so I need to know an estimate.
Okay.
He was gonna get back to me on a time frame that they had to have an estimate by, but I haven't heard that date
Okay.
yet.
Okay,
So just so you know that they're looking for an estimate.
that's good to know. I can use that for leverage.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Correspondence? Committee reports? Harbor Commission is going to hire an excavator to dredge the silt trap. And that is supposed to happen probably within the next couple of weeks. And also, there are 2 Harbor Commission positions up for appointment right now. So if there's any nominations, please submit them to me through phone, text, email, or whatever you prefer. At the next meeting, I'll make those appointments. Are there any other committee reports?
The short-term rental committee met and went through the applications which show up on the under new business. So we met and we're meeting regularly.
Man,
Any other reports?
just a short, for Parks and Land.
Okay.
Just to bring you up to date, we did have a new dock put together, by the town crew, installed on Siskiyou Lake, so that's, we're real happy with that. And, we just put 2 more picnic tables together down at the pavilion. So now we've got, 5 really nice tables down there right now. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug.
All right, sanitary district?
There's really been a lot of activity on the sanitary district front. We got correspondence from the Department of Natural Resources after a phone conversation with me and 2 representatives of the DNR and Gary Strand. I do have a copy of the memorandum that she sent me. This is a comment that she sent to me. I did make extra copies. Basically, in a nutshell, they're kind of worried about how we're gonna pay for it. And they also asked why we didn't pursue other avenues of disposal of the waste. For example, it made me laugh, but she was wondering why we didn't design a continuous flow into Lake Superior out of the new plant. I said, I thought that would be the last thing that anyone up here would want, and especially you guys. And then she said, well, you gotta include it in your plans so that we can review it. Now, it would be a lot cheaper if we did a daily flow into Lake Superior down a pipe that we would probably either lay on along a new easement or our old easement. They are very concerned about the wildlife effect of our existing dry run, if you will. We discharge twice a year, as I think most people know, spring and fall. Along this dry run that gently flows, we discharge about 100,000 gallons a day, and it flows toward the lake. Every now and then it gets there, quite often it's absorbed into the soils. But as a result of that, you know, you have to understand that critters get used to having wetness for like a month, and then it's dry. So they're worried about the effect of that on the habitat of critters. So I didn't know what to say. So I didn't. So they want us to also include that design. I said, I thought there'd be no way in. I said, I really thought we were lucky to have this discharge the way it was. I didn't want to even talk about it. I didn't want to ever bring it up and have any conversations about it because I think we're lucky to have it. I think there'd be no way in hell we'd get one like that today. No, I don't think so. So anyway, that's what we have to do. And then, so I've got copies of this. So our engineer is working on it. So now we come to the hard part, how are we going to pay for it? So I talked to our sanitary district board about a month ago about contacting our attorney. Basically, one of the criteria before the DNR will approve it is how are we going to pay for it? So of course I explained the fact that we were counting on $1.3 million from Tammy Baldwin, which was cut, and the $2.1 million that was going to be forgiven, debt retirement from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources to the Clean Water Fund. And I said, when I talked to the lady in charge of the Clean Water Fund, she told me the $2.1 million was all federal money. I said, you think I'm going to get that money? She said, well, I think so. I said, do you really think so? I don't think we're going to, that money's not there, I'm sure. So anyway, my problem is now, how do I pay for this project? So I sent this email. I'll pass out, and I know you haven't had a chance to read it because it came in at 4:30 this afternoon. I think I sent it to you too.
I have not.
Okay. You bet. And basically, I asked him, you know, what our best recourse would be. I said, we have to find a way to pay for this in 20 years. I said, the existing system was put in, and it's called Bell Sanitary District Number 1. And all of the citizens within Bell Sanitary District Number 1 have paid their special assessments and all their charges related to the building of this plant that we have today. So I said, I don't feel good about assessing them again. And I said, the only person I can levy legally are the people within our existing district. So I said, what's my best option? Is my best option to form a new sanitary district, which would include everybody but sanitary district number 1 within the boundaries of that district for the purpose of developing a levy system wherein if we didn't have enough revenue from the money coming in and being dumped into the new system, it would at least pay for the debt service because it's going to be repaid in 20 years. So John Carlson indicated that it would be best, in his opinion, if they just added it to the existing boundaries of the district. I guess that's something the town has to do. I'm not an attorney, that's why I talked to John Carlson about it. And I know his firm also is the town's attorney. So I'm just, I guess for right now, I'm on hold because I don't have any funding. We have developed a plan where I asked our operations department, like how much money should we have in reserve in case the worst happened? And we're there now. So I really can't afford to spend any more money on this crazy project that looked like it was so favorable, this spring. So anyway, to make a long story short, what we're doing currently is going to result in our non-compliance with our inflow from our existing customer base. So we'll have to cut people off, probably in the fall. Because we're gonna be over design capacity. But on the other hand, I'm thinking maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe that'll get their attention and make them move. Because our demand is not going down, it's increasing. And we haven't even, right now, we're not even serving the planned senior housing or the new campground, both of which have been approved to my knowledge by the county. So I'm kind of at an impasse. So that's why I'm asking for advice from the town based on this correspondence with our sanitary district attorney and to find out what my best approach should be on this. Because if I can't show the DNR how I can repay this, then it won't happen. So what I put, I think at the very bottom of that, it said, can I use your copy, Gordy? The terms of the Wisconsin DNR loan is 0% interest amortized for 20 years. So whatever money I need to borrow has to be repaid straight line over 20 years. My recommendation to the town was that the levy will be used to retire the debt remaining after all the funding sources have been utilized and the new facility completed and operational. So that's a fallback plan. But in the meantime, we have submitted a proposal through Tammy Baldwin's office for fiscal year 26. But we have no knowledge of what's going to happen there. So right now, I guess I'm in limbo. So I think I need to tell the citizens and you guys that that's where I am currently.
All right, thanks, Mark.
You bet.
Public comments? Any public comments? Yes.
My name is Constance Symes. I'm here representing Wilderness Inquiry. I used to live down on Maple, 2020, and then in the Hollow too. I'm their CKI program manager for their base out in Little Sand Bay. We submitted a transient merchant application last month. It got tabled. I reviewed the minutes to see why, and just am here to answer any questions with that. We are a nonprofit, and we have an IRS paper that says we're tax exempt. And so we don't have Wisconsin sales tax because we only program a certain amount of days, so we don't meet the qualifications to do that at this time. Other than that, I think we've submitted everything else that we've done in, I think, 2 years past now. So I just want to make sure that there's any clarification to let me know while I'm here. See?
All right, thank you. Any other public comments? All right, moving on to old business, which is a transient merchant application from Wilderness Inquiry. We did table that last month, and Mary Beth did receive everything that we needed since then, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so we have all the, whatever was missing. So, do we have a motion on that?
So
And they've had the application last year too.
Yeah.
You're going to use the existing transit vendor launch area?
Yeah, so next to the Liberty,
Right,
and then we'll probably go to Sisquit maybe a handful of times, and I try to count that every year to make sure that I submit a donation for those uses as well.
I move we accept the transit merchant application from Wilderness Inquiry.
I'll second it.
Motion is made and seconded. Is there any more discussion? All those in favor, say aye. All those opposed, say aye. There's no opposed. Thank you for coming. And new business, short-term rental applications. Our committee reviewed the applications for 3 short-term rentals this month. And what did you?
Well, I move that the board approve the short-term rental applications for Stoneman, Owen, and Miller. Unless you want me to do one at a time.
No, that's good. So that was your motion. Is there a
I
second?
imagine that Jesse is abstaining, so I'll second it.
The motion is made and seconded. Is there any more discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say aye. Jesse abstained, is that correct? Okay. And back to Paul, the resident agent application. We had 2 of those.
Yep, and I move we accept the resident agent applications from Hutchinson and Moline.
And I will second that as well.
All right, the motion is made and seconded. Is there any more discussion? All those in favor, say aye. All those opposed, say aye. No opposed. Jesse didn't vote. Okay. And next we have a letter of support to repave Highway County C, Cisco Falls Road to North Boundary Road. Is that right, Matt? Cisco Falls, North Boundary?
Yep.
Okay.
And the county's applying for a federal land access program grant. So the county commissioner actually reached out to the town board through this letter of support.
So I wrote a letter. I would have sent it to everybody, but I did it like an hour ago, so I can read it now and we can choose to accept. How's that? Or not? All right, so on the letter of support, it reads, to whom it may concern, the duly elected board of the town of Bell, Bayfield County, Wisconsin, at a regular town board meeting on May 13th, 2025, voted to support the paving of County Highway C in the town of Bell. We believe that paving County Highway C is necessary to further improve the infrastructure and ease of travel to and from our secluded town. The road is a vital route for residents and tourists visiting, as well as commercial interests in the town, including commercial fishing and logging. Furthermore, County Highway C has been an important route in the event of natural disasters. Just last year, in the summer of 2024, all other highway access to the town of Bell was washed away in a flood that washed out many of the surrounding roads, making County Highway C the only way to access the town of Bell. County Highway C is also the fastest route to our area for emergency services, including the County Sheriff's Department responding to calls in our area, and to our ambulance service transporting patients from our town to the closest hospital located in Ashland. We believe paving County Highway C is important to our town and the surrounding area. Acceptable?
Yeah. Sounds good.
I move we send that letter of support to where it needs to go.
I will second that.
The motion is made and seconded. Is there any more discussion?
Just a question.
Yes.
Maybe to Matt. Does that mean that beyond the town of Bell, it's going to be paved the rest of the way to Washburn? this was just for a application we're putting in. The real world scenario here is after the Washburn construction goes on Highway 13, I would anticipate County C getting repaved after that, because County C will be the new detour route when the second half Washburn. And they would do that after the detour. But that's just my guess.
Nothing
Would they,
concrete.
I would guess it would be a bigger segment, but this is just the segment that they could apply for this federal grant, this grant application.
Okay.
Any more discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. Those not opposed. Last thing on our agenda is a possible land lease to the sanitary district facility expansion. I just wanted to bring it up so it's officially on the radar, but it sounds like you're changing gears anyway, so we don't really need to discuss this now.
Well, Matt, I would hope that you don't take that position tonight.
Well, we're not gonna make any decisions.
Okay,
tonight,
I'm just
but
saying
it was
that
just a broad bring
this-
it up.
The design that we submitted to the DNR is the spray design. That the engineer and the board believe that that's the safest way to handle this waste. Now, the DNR has required us to look at these other options. I think the board will, with any input from the townspeople, help us decide if they'd rather save money and do a direct discharge daily into the lake, or would they rather have a holding pond that will hold a year's worth of waste and then discharge it systematically as the ground is able to absorb it. So that's basically the question, I think. Now, the water that will be discharged, if it does discharge from the lake, of course, has to be treated.
If it's done on a daily basis, how would that be acceptable from a treatment standpoint?
Well, it'd have to be tested prior to discharge.
We tested every day.
Without, you know,
Well, if we do a continuous discharge, yes. I can't see how else, the whole thing to me sounds so dangerous that it's just frightening to me.
yeah.
Because in the event something catastrophic happens, all the waste will end up in the lake.
Right.
Granted, we're a small little community compared to the other cities, but I think our mission is to protect our biggest natural resource. So I was very surprised when I talked to the DNR and they wanted us to develop these other options. So I just wanted to report that to you. So you can table it, sure. But to me, it's really not totally off the table.
Well, yeah, I guess my intent with this, because I don't have any decision under this item.
Okay.
So this was just to bring it up so that you could say the town board isn't opposed to it. They've discussed it and, there's discussion about it. But
Okay.
we don't have enough information, I think, to even come to any conclusions. But for the sake of anything that you're doing, you can say the town board has brought it up and they're not in opposition to it.
It would need to
So on and
be
so forth.
part of the minutes. I'm not saying it has to be a motion.
Well, it is, because it's on the, we're talking
Okay.
about it right now.
Okay.
That's why it's on the agenda. So basically, we've been talking about this for a while, and there's been presentations, Mark has kept us informed. So I just wanted to have this on the agenda so we can say, this is kind of what's going on. Is there any objection to possibly, because this item is about possible land lease, because that's what we had talked about, is you needing a possible lease of land from the town for your sprayer system.
Yeah, because it's not our land. It's your
So,
land.
right,
Right.
so that is the case, so I'm bringing this up so that we can say, is there anybody that's gonna say, no, absolutely not? Otherwise, this is something that we might have to vote on later. As of right now, I'm just saying, we need to be aware of that could be our future. And if there's anybody that has a reason to say absolutely not, now would be the time to say it. Otherwise, we're just here to listen to your proposal and then make a decision on that. That we're not against, we would like to help you. I'm sure I'm speaking for everybody. We need this to happen. But we're not in a position to make an official vote on it.
Well, Does the sanitary district own land up there, or are you leasing the land with the ponds are on now?
No, first funding, go around that we did, we had a 99-year lease for $1 from the town of Bell, and our funding agency said, no, you have to buy it at fair market value. It's a federal provision, because it was federal money that was being used mostly to build our existing system. So we bought that land from the town. Subsequently, we bought 20 acres on our own, adjacent and due north of our initial purchase. So so we've got that parcel and then another parcel where we were gonna locate the new system.
So it might be that instead of leasing that land, you may have to buy it from us. Is that?
That was the rules prior. No one has said anything about that to me yet. So, but I'm not gonna say no. They may want it, but I don't know how we break that up.
The one thing that's come back to me, and I can't remember who told me, but is that even though the town owns the airport, apparently Tim Casino wasn't aware of the fact that we were talking about spraying effluent there, which does impact the airport. And it's not that we don't have jurisdiction over it because the town owns it, but I think it'd behoove us to be transparent with everybody and make sure that everybody's aware of what's going on, just for future.
So you couldn't locate the spraying thing on your own 20 acres?
We don't have enough soil.
Okay.
We initially sampled the soils around the land that we purchased. And they were deemed to be not, and that's a DNR term, they're not always wetlands, but they are sometimes. So they didn't really think that it was appropriate to do that. That's why we had to drill in all the different locations around the spray area. All of that land has been, we've had to drill test holes and all the soils have been tested. So, yes, it is, that area is appropriate, but unfortunately, the land we bought is not.
Okay, yeah, so you don't have,
Yeah.
So you need that land. Okay.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want this to get to the point where the town would say no. After we got the design finalized and funding in place, and then the town said, well, no, we don't really want our land used that way, which you have every right to do. So that's why I've been talking about it all this time.
So is there any other questions on the possible future land lease for the sanitary district, or are we done with it for now?
Well, have we contacted our attorney? Is that,
Yes.
okay, so the attorney's aware of it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're,
It's a problem we need to solve, and I think
yeah.
we need to be a part of the solution.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm shocked
Yeah.
too, that they
Yeah.
would be
Well,
against this.
It's kind
This is-
kind of shifting gears on us.
Well, she's a young woman and she's got this job to do, and her job is to review the design, and she's probably never been up here. And so she's looking at numbers and drawings. She doesn't understand the way we feel about our lake. And I, unfortunately, made the assumption that there's no way in hell they would ever let us do that. And I was just grateful for what we do have now with our first system, where the water runs toward the lake and eventually evaporates, and some does end up in the lake. But it's all treated, it's all potable water.
Yep.
It's not dangerous. But still, I couldn't imagine they'd let me do that again.
Yeah.
So.
All right, is there anything else? All right, moving on to our second public comment period. Are there any public comments? Yes.
As one who uses Highway C frequently, I ultimately endorse repaving much of that section, especially in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And whoever paved it last time didn't crown it properly, because within 2 years, it was cracking and falling apart. So I hope they find a good contractor this time, when the county arranges that.
Any other public comments?
Well, my comment was that I think I have a better option for spending that money.
You want the highway to go through the sanitary district?
Maybe we can get road tax for that.
Never know. It's government.
I just want to say thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Any other comments? All right, motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I guess.
All right, motion is made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say aye. There is no opposed.
I couldn't.
Yeah. And I think it's more, every year we're finishing one.
And going through.
And then every
Gives all the assets and their case. We don't have the paperwork. I can't. I don't think that guy.
Well,
It was 75 up at my house, they came down here in the 50s. I mean, I like the winter. This weekend was awesome.
he's gotten married.
We got work with you, you scheduled with me. We just show up and we have-
All right, all right. Yeah,
You can't make no shit up.